Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about the do's and the don'ts for the week ahead using human design, astrology, and my intuitive gifts as our guide to be able to navigate us through these crazy shifting times. Every day I've been mentioning this and channeling this for the week ahead feels a little bit like a cha-cha slide where we're learning the dance, tripping over ourselves, taking 2 steps forward, but 1 step back. But still, 1 step forward is getting done no matter where we're at in general during this time. So welcome back again to my channel. If you like what I do here and you want to support me just because while getting some special perks like my full moon and new moon circles, you can join the $5 tier at my Patreon that is listed in the show notes below. Without further ado, let's get into the astrology of the week. I'm filming this on Monday and releasing this on Monday because I had an event at a place called Alchemy Lounge. It was a beautiful event, and I was one of the speakers that was asked to speak on human design and stress and learning about our human design. So if you are listening to this or watching this video and were part of that event yesterday, check your inbox because you already have an email from me talking about a little bit of a follow-up for some free videos and content that you can get to learn more about your human design. But with Monday, again, as our kind of energetic grounding point, for where we're at right now, today is the official start of Mercury retrograde. It actually happened yesterday, and just trying to find the balance of feeling like you want to be able to connect with people, but just kind of missing the mark in some capacity. Or even again, if it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you're having the grace and giving yourself some more data to respond to and looking at it from the lens of understanding, like, what do I really need to understand or incorporate from the lessons that I learned this weekend or today to be able to move forward in a more aligned way. A couple of the notes that I also wrote down here, because this Mercury retrograde is happening in gate 9, we'll see more of a gate 9 focus tomorrow as well. The gate of focus, it's what are the stories that you're communicating to yourself and other people consciously or subconsciously. This Mercury retrograde is really asking you to understand that your words have so much power and control over the way that you kind of wear these rose-colored lenses, that you're speaking these spells over yourself for how you see the day ahead. And it's okay if you acknowledge that you're going through a tough moment at this time, but realize that when you speak things out into existence or are having a conversation with somebody, less is going to be more right now. When you're doing any kind of, I had somebody that asked today about contract negotiation for a job. Wednesday would be the best day to do that, historically speaking. Also, because this Mercury retrograde, it's just going to be a little bit of a back and forth and trying to get people to understand you or speak your truth in a more aligned way. You also want to pay attention to where you're monologuing at people and not talking at them, but rather with them is going to be really important because everybody is tired. Everyone's experiencing the end of the year, like winter kind of doldrums as it starts to get darker a little bit earlier in my corner of the world. And for a lot of you that are watching this video, but being able to lean into understanding that like having an actual conversation with people is so important right now, and not to feel like, again, you're talking at them, but rather with them is going to be super helpful and important. So again, paying attention to that on Monday. Do focus on slowing down, taking your time to get things done in an efficient way. Don't try to pack too much onto your to-do list or talk ad nauseum to somebody about something that could be resolved or communicated in 5 sentences or less. Now for Tuesday, tomorrow, I wrote down our Mars placement, which is specifically in gate 34 in human design. And I mentioned this for my energy of the day, the human design way, that'll be going out tonight at 7 o'clock. So you can prepare officially for tomorrow or November 11th. It's going to be on my shorts tab, but it's know where you've bitten off more than you can chew and where you can reconfigure your to-do list, a continued theme. Too much of anything is never a good thing, including enthusiasm, because it's also going to make people think that you're being inauthentic. I'm so excited that you're with me right now, because it feels like you're baiting them with excitement where it's one-sided excitement and a lack of reciprocity. Even if it's not, that's true. Like you do actually have, or it's not true. You do actually have authentic, aligned intentions with the people in front of you. It's just, we don't have to do the most right now. It's just kind of relaxing, taking the pressure out of the valve, like letting some air out of the tire so it can just settle instead of feeling like it's going to burst, is going to be feeling really important for all of us. But I also put the impatience, a lot of impatience, especially due to our sun gate placement. And an I want it yesterday mindset is why people are stuck. They're confused, get your gate 64 transit south node, because you skipped certain important steps. I had a couple conversations and I've been thinking about doing like a to vend or not to vend, and just helping people understand like how to be somebody that's hosting an event, but also being on the vendor side, certain things that you can do to be prepared to advocate for yourself in different situations where there's people figuring things out. There's a lot of energies in the room, especially when we're in intuitive wellness events, and even being allowed to say like, oh yeah, it makes sense that you as an intuitive person are going to feel sensitive when there's a lot of energies in the room and things going all over the place, how can I also allow space for you to also be an empath and feel all of those feelings and all of the characters at play? And that has to do with vendor events, but also just the world that we're in right now, and people thinking that we're compartmentalizing our intuitiveness or empathic nature into little boxes. So if you want me to talk more about that, that's general just for Tuesday. But if you want me to talk more about that from a vendor perspective, let me know and I'll make a little video or post about that. But again, going back to the I want it yesterday, it's people not realizing how much time certain things take when it looks really easy for other people to do it on the outside. I have people that ask me all the time about learning human design from me and being able to teach them, which is something, that I do want to do in the not so distant future, how to read human design charts. But it also comes with putting time in the saddle of actually practicing and using it as a chart, your human design experiment in your daily life, to make sure you're using the gifts of your human design gate placement, because that's what makes me a really good reader, is that I've been able to put my information into practice. It's not something that I've just contained to memory and just regurgitate it in an instant, having no actual real life experience or productive measures and being able to apply the information. So just remembering that, allowing yourself the grace of realizing that, like, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time to start is today, is going to be important. So do focus on prioritizing your to-do list, putting the top 3 things that you want to get done, and kind of setting aside the other 2,800 things that are on that to-do list for 2026. It's not as important to get to those things as you think that it will, based on your anxiety about having not done those things up until this point on your to-do list. And don't focus or react from a place of impatience, but rather strategize about how to move forward in your day. Now, pivoting to Wednesday, November 12th, I also was writing a little bit of the frustration energy, because the impatience is something that kind of just flows from Tuesday to Wednesday. The line specifically for this gate placement in human design, also harkening back to gate 9, but the 4323 channel, which is activated. I mentioned the 4323 channel to a couple of you, quite a few of you in my community here on YouTube, also in Patreon and TikTok Live, have this channel. But it's people kicking down the door when the key is in their pocket. Where are you going around kind of being a bully and bulldozing, elbowing people out of the way in your life where maybe they don't deserve it, when you realize that you had the key the whole time? It wasn't their fault that they didn't hear you at the doorbell and didn't let you in at a time that you felt appropriate, when the best time you felt like they should have answered was yesterday. It's like woulda, shoulda, coulda. Being more patient, having more patience for yourself, with knowing that you have the tools at your disposal and that ultimately you are responsible for your own life, is going to be important. If you don't feel like that resonates with you as much right now at this moment, just noticing how there's a lot of people in our external world that are going through those kinds of energetic motions and feeling very stubborn. Whenever there's a transit where we have defined ajna and crown centers, like the 4323 channel does, it essentially creates a lot of hard-headedness in the atmosphere, which we're knowing all across the board, or noticing all across the board in many different areas. So just paying attention to that. A couple other of the little bullet points that I put here is explain what you know as simply and clearly as possible. I'm not going into these videos explaining every single aspect of the squares and oppositions and vocabulary words and gates and hanging gates and channels. That would be so overwhelming and frankly ineffective for what you really need these videos for. I do my research. You guys trust me as an authority that knows where to find the good information and be able to apply it in a practical way, which is what we really need. Us humans, we're like inundated with so much information at any given moment in time, including the people that you want to be pitching yourself to, that you want to explain things to through your social media, through your content, negotiating a contract for your job, right? So being able to say it like less and say less words and be more effective in your communication is going to be really important today. We don't need unnecessary word salads being added in there. So again, nobody likes unsolicited advice, especially from someone they don't really know or has the street cred or nor any skin in the game. Mastering the art of timing is also going to be really important. So when people feel like you're talking at them and they have no decorum with you at all, they haven't paid for you to give them unsolicited advice, or if they haven't been in that position. I have a lot of projectors or people that will come to me and they're like, oh, I have this disposition or this inkling to be able to comment back to that person in your live, when I really set the tone of it being like about decorum and respect. And even though your heart and your intention is in the right place, that's why I'm always telling, especially my projectors, to really be able to use your platform and build your own business. Because why is your message and your guidance getting lost so much in my comment section for somebody else's reading who didn't pay you, where you can actually set up the unsolicited advice into a piece of content to be able to share what you would have said in that position and make content out of that? It's a much better use of everyone's time, and you're going to be able to serve your population of people as well using that as your guiding North Star. It's so much more effective. You're going to feel happier. You don't have the other person that you're trying to give unsolicited advice to biting your head off, and you're like, whoa, I was just trying to help. Just noticing, even if you're not a projector, that that's a kind of flavor that we're going with on Wednesday. So we're feeling that a lot. Thursday, November 13th, people are very sensitive to being condemned by others today. We're helicopter parenting people on the internet. You're sensing where others are disapproving of you. So Thursday is a day where we're going to have a little bit of a sensitivity to where other people are looking at us, feeling a little bit like caught with our pants down, even if we're not doing anything bad, right? Like a little bit of like, oh, I didn't expect that. Sorry, you opened the door to the bathroom while I was using it. I didn't realize I didn't lock the door. It's that kind of almost voyeuristic energy. People are feeling a little bit more sensitive to betrayal right now, especially during Scorpio season, which is totally normal and natural to feel that way. But where are you jumping the gun and feeling that way too much so about a person that really doesn't have like, I want to say any skin in the game, but really maybe doesn't have as much malicious intent as you think that they do. It's like maybe because we've been so burned by the people that we should have put in their place and we didn't, we're taking it out on the people that are kind and are closest to us, because those are your only sources of good people. So you kind of panic when they have a bad day, and giving people the grace of being human, because we're all human, and being able to ground in that today is going to be really important. My joints cracking as I mentioned that. I'd also wrote down, does this truly affect your life at all? Like when you look at a person, place, or thing, and you have an emotional reaction to it, does it actually affect your day? I am a Scorpio moon. So I will tell you, there are many times as I've been growing through understanding the evolution of my Scorpio moon and how to work with it, that I would just get myself into feeling like I had to connect or correct people's behavior with how they came at me inappropriately, when maybe, it was just about letting it go and saying like, does me correcting this person and giving the unsolicited advice, or like recalculating or having a conversation about how they should approach me the next time, does it actually affect me? Am I realistically ever going to see this person again or have this type of conversation with them again? Am I overextending by doing too much of the energetic labor in this relationship when I haven't paid for it or haven't been paid for it financially, or there's no reciprocity with energy in that regard? So really paying attention to that, another theme of the day, because that's what's going to help you feel like, okay, that when people are perceiving you, you're able to be perceived in the best light possible by showing up for yourself and not doing the most. Don't let the discomfort rush you into a wrong decision is also important. It's like sitting in the middle ground today, because I'm looking at our Earth placement, our Sun gate placement. That's where the 4323 channel is coming from. Our Venus is in gate 44 in its detriment. Our Mars in Sagittarius in gate 9 also in its detriment, and our Jupiter in gate 62 are basically the fancy vocabulary words to say like there's this aspect of like I have to rush to just get it over with. It's like when you're getting your legs waxed and you just want to rip it off already. You don't even want the anticipation of it is what's fearful. Don't let that fear push you into making the wrong decision, just saying okay, yes, whatever, and making anyone making you feel like you have to make a decision before you're actually ready, especially when you're looking at, like, I think of like a multi-level marketing schemes or anything along those lines. So keeping your eyes and ears peeled for that is going to be important. Friday is where we kind of have a little bit of extra like lighter energy. November 14th, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, alternating appetite type energy, where we're really looking at where can we enjoy the smorgasbord of life. Friday is Venus day, so it's where you can really be like, okay, where do I want to give myself like an at-home spa day, or where can I just pick up like a nice little hot chocolate, luxurious beverage on the way home from work and just enjoy and luxuriate in that moment while I read the 85 books that I've piled up on my nightstand. I picture like that scene in the Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, where Cameron Diaz like goes to the little shop in Surrey, London or England, and is laying in bed, and she has like all the cheese and the chocolate, and she's bundled up and just like watching her show. That kind of energy where you can really just enjoy, again, the cha-cha side of the energy. It's been kind of hectic during the week, but now at the end of the week, you have that moment to relax a little bit more and can choose whether or not you want to tap into that just on Friday or every single day. You could do all of the above if you want to, but really being able to ground yourself in a way that's very Venusian, Friday being ruled by the planet Venus, you can ground yourself in that energy, which will be important. If you feel like, I also put like, get out of sad seasonal depression, get up and move, get out of your head and into your body. This would be a great day to do some yoga at home or go to a workout class if you have the energy, even just to walk around and start to see like some of the shops that are set up for Thanksgiving or Christmas, walk in a little cute area of town or just in your local neighborhood. Just move out of your body in any way that you can that feels you're physically capable of doing, and just stretching out all of the nervous weekly jitter. So paying attention to that. What's also interesting too, and I was saying this also to my Patreon folks a little bit earlier this week, or a handful of them, is like doing a little bit of a November advent calendar. I'm actually going to be doing a free advent calendar for the month of December, where we'll do an astrology advent calendar where I'll teach you one tip per day using human design and astrology. So you don't have to be a paid member, but if you want to sign up for my Patreon, you could do that there, and it would be a great place for you to be able to just learn a little bit more about yourself and how to apply the transits in a little bit of a deeper way if you've been wanting to learn more and just feel like you can use a little bit sense of practical wisdom. I'm excited for that. So that's also at the link in my show notes if you feel called to join us there. We have a really great community of people, and I'm very thankful leading out of 2025 into 2026. So sign up for that. Link is in the show notes below. Saturday, November 15th, we have the exalted placement of gate 43. I put, if you listen to me with yesterday's energy, you'll have the energy to be able to tackle today and get things done in your to-do list. You're going to have some random breakthroughs, downloads, and realizations that are or will available to you or will be happening for you today. Don't let other people project their thoughts onto you. This is exceptionally true because of our Neptune retrograde, and do maintain your healthy sense of like ability to pursue what you want to pursue in life. Embracing change doesn't mean that you have to accept that you're okay with it, but rather you know that there's nothing that you can do to change the job, the economic climate, whatever, but just change your spending habits so that you can enjoy life still, and that you're allowed to have fun and be disciplined about whatever you want to pursue. In the meantime, that is okay. That's available to you. Obsessing about the past is removing you from the present. It's just a short and sweet way to kind of understand what's happening on Saturday. Last but not least is Sunday, November 16th. I put, don't diminish your intuition. This is important. Our gate 57 moon sign for part of the day. And don't let other people treat it as superficial either. Your intuition, your gut instinct, looking at your authority in human design, listening to your intuitive senses and what you're channeling and downloading is going to be really important today. Even if you've never done anything like that before, pay attention to where you can kind of just listen to your inner compass, to God, to source, whatever you want to call that inner voice and inner knowing is going to be really important for you to be in communion with that energy for Sunday. Honesty, compassion, integration, or integrity, respect, and integration has come up a lot today. Maybe doing a little bit of a personal values exercise so you can see what you find most comforting about what your values are, and know when you are entering into a conversation, a relationship, a new job, connecting with different types of content online that are on For You page, blocking pages that don't fit with your values. It's a great day to do that, and having a lot of grace and accepting where you are at this very moment in time. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you again to my beautiful Patreon members that are listed on the next slide. I'll have some new names that I'll add after this next cycle for a sweet few of you that have joined us since then. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being in Patreon, and I will see you guys soon.